Tomb Raider is the third Tomb Raider film in the franchise, although this is kind of a reboot, and it stars Alicia Vikander as the new Tomb Raider. It's no longer Angelina Jolie from the 90s films, which were kind of tongue-in-cheek and kind of a guilty pleasure for a lot of people to watch, although if you go back and watch it now, not so great. But Alicia Vikander is the new Lara Croft, the very proper name Lara Croft, and is directed by, let me get this right, Ra Uthang. You probably haven't heard of this director. The film that I know that he's from, which is The Wave, is basically about a whole town that basically gets taken out by a wave and people have to survive it. And not a lot of people know his work, and so it was interesting to me that the guy that worked largely with suspense film and water is directing this film. This Tomb Raider story is largely from the 2013 reboot of the game franchise, and there's been so many incarnations of this Tomb Raider games. We've had many over the years. If you're a gamer, you love to play the Tomb Raider game. In fact, a new Shadow of the Tomb Raider has literally just been announced as I'm making this review, and that's coming out in September, which is pretty cool. So very good timing.
It'll be an adventure.
Death is not an adventure.
Stars Lara Croft not as a Tomb Raider. This is more a working out to how she becomes that Tomb Raider. She's a bike courier in London. I don't know, courier. She's a courier in London, and she's trying to get by without the Croft money because her father went missing. And this, I'm not doing any spoilers because this is all from the game and trailers. And so she tries to avoid that whole life until she is asked to sign the will and finally let go of her father and take on the Croft manor and all its riches. And in that moment she finds out that her father was more than she knew, and so this journey begins of her becoming the Tomb Raider. The 90s Tomb Raider films were very tongue-in-cheek, as I said, and suffered from that Hollywood thing where nobody, if you're the hero, no matter what you go through, you can get beat up and shot and blown up, and you can fly through the air and do amazing jumps and timing, and nothing really gets you down. No matter what happens to you, you just get back up and you're fine and your hair's perfect. This is not that film. I think Alicia Vikander portrays the 2013 game character of Lara Croft very well. She resembles everything that you would want from this Lara Croft character, and if you are a fan of the game, you will like this film. I can't see why you wouldn't, because it nods to everything that you can do in the game, from bows and arrows to the trademarks of what you've come to expect Lara Croft to be. On a side note, I've seen lots of people. I've seen what I would class as probably sexist guys to be saying, why isn't Lara Croft big-chested and wearing the outfits that we know from the Lara Croft games? Well, that's not the character of Lara Croft anymore, and would be a little strange. It would be a little strange in 2018 to have that version now, where we're so aware of actually how we should be treating women. And it's really nice to see that they've managed to take what Lara Croft is, the heroine, very strong character from the 2013 game, and place her in this film. And Alicia Vikander portrays this character really well. You believe when she gets hurt. You believe that when she dives across chasms and jumps onto things and climbs and does all the Tomb Raider-esque things. You believe that she feels and gets hurt. You just believe in the character, and I think that's largely due to how they introduce her character. I found that I was relating to the character within the first 10 minutes. I felt what she was going through. I really liked her as Lara, even though she has this supposed huge amount of money and she is this big name. She's kind of thrown that aside and to live in her own life, and I found that really relatable. And she portrays that character of coming into her own, coming into who she wants to be, not just a Croft, but what she wants to be.
I'm just not that kind of Croft.
I think that's really great. So you see the journey of the character, and that's the same in the game. And so a lot of comments and questions I've seen about, well, why should I go and watch the film if I can just play the game and it's very similar? Well, because it's really great to be able to see the character that you spent hours and hours and hours playing and getting to know and upgrade and do all the things you do in the game, portrayed on screen, and it's portrayed well. And for those who haven't played the game, this is a fun roller coaster film. That's not to say that this film isn't without its flaws. It does suffer from similar things, like things that would actually the everyday person wouldn't get up from straight away. In fact, they'd probably be hospitalized lots. The things that Lara Croft can do are still not quite believable. Although this is leaps ahead of the other Tomb Raider films in believability.
But you can pick up where he left off. It's in your blood.
The film flows quite nicely from beginning to end and never dips too long. It does suffer for a little bit from exposition, where I feel like it was being spoon-fed a bit. So it tends to suggest in the film that you may not get some of the clues that they've been kind of giving you step by step. The realization of what Lara has uncovered and what it means in the story. And it did feel like they were spoon feeding me a bit, which I didn't really like. But apart from those two things, I think it's a really good film, which is difficult to say because game to film adaptations have not had a good history, and that's mostly due from really bad films and bad directors like Uwe Boll. He synonymously has almost killed the game to film adaptations. Nobody wanted to touch them because of how bad his adaptations were, like Far Cry. Check that out, it's terrible. So even picking up a game to adapt into a film is quite brave. And not only have they picked it up, but they've taken large chunks of the story and produced it on film and done it really without making it feel like they've completely rehashed it.
Put it down!
It's a really good game to film. It does hint at a franchise. It does hint at that where world building there is going to be a number, and why wouldn't they? Because studios and filmmakers love money, and obviously even the word Tomb Raider generally suggests that it's going to make money. There's one particular actor, Walter Goggins, who plays Matthias. He was particularly good in this film, but I feel like he wasn't allowed to explore his character enough. In the game, the Matthias character is flipping vicious, and you do see a little bit of that, but I would have loved if they'd spent a little bit more time.
You really want to do this, little girl?
I really think that gamers will love this, and even if you're not a gamer, you'll really love this just for the kind of adventure that it is. Thanks so much for watching my review of Tomb Raider. As I said, there's a new game coming out this year, September, which is pretty cool. Do check out our other reviews, and if you're new to the Rupee Tuesday, please subscribe. So looking forward to what you guys think about this film, if you're going to see it, if you intend to, or why not. I think they've done a good job.